What up, and welcome to the Binge Eater Podcast. It's your boy, the Donnie dripping, the Pharaoh of flavor, the South Bouse. I'm here with my boy, Donnie Duckets.
Yes, sir.
And Big Lynch holding it down.
Present.
You know, guys, something interesting happened. Since 2010, I've been making videos on YouTube, and then at a certain point was making them on Vine and TikTok. And just making videos is what I've done for the last 10 years. And I could tell you one thing about how I make videos. I never think of women when I make my content. And in fact, whenever I met women over the years and they're like, what do you do? I'm like, I make videos. It's silly cooking stuff. But I'm never like, oh, you got to see it. You're going to love it. Because I don't really, I guess I could see the demographics on YouTube. It's like 10% women maximum. Maximum.
If you're lucky.
Exactly. So I never think of women, but like a month ago, I put up this video where I'm dancing to Fleetwood Mac. Donnie, you even were like, this didn't even need to exist. And it was just like a silly video.
No, I was all the way in on that one.
Actually, I didn't say it didn't need to exist, and I enjoyed it immensely. What I said was, nobody asked you to do this.
That's true. So I uploaded this dancing video to this Fleetwood Mac song, and it was just because I was at home and feeling dumb. I had the energy, and I just did it. It wasn't the first time I've done something like that, but I put it on TikTok, and I put it on Facebook. And the reason why I was fascinated by this video is because the comments are all women, and not like standard like girls on TikTok like demographic. Like these are like they're women, you know, they're my age, and they're out there and they're commenting very flattering things. I'm just looking at this and I was like, I got to kind of pivot, and I have to make like thirst trap content somehow for like a 30-year-old woman. Like that's a pivot I got to do based on the comment section.
You know what?
And the readings that I'm getting.
You just make thirst trap content, and then the people who are attracted to it will decide who it's for.
Well, this is the problem. Is I obviously I've obviously like keyed into a certain niche here. If you go look through the comments on the Facebook post or on the TikTok and you click through all the profiles, it's a demographic, and I got to tap into that. The problem is I've never ever once thought of any woman whenever making a video. And it just so happens that I made a video that vibes with Donnie Duckets, resonates with Lynch, and also is having some girls, like literally this woman has made a TikTok of me each day of her just watching that video and being like, until he follows back.
It's funny. I've been meaning to message you about that video specifically because you and I talked about it extensively. Because I think that the reason why I find it enjoyable, because it requires like an element of confidence to make that specific video. Like you called it a thirst trap, but it's like a weird thirst trap.
Because it wasn't meant to be one.
It wasn't meant to be. You're like choking yourself and making ridiculous faces and like it's like goofy on a level that like most people would not do. Like if you're not like serious. Right?
I think that's what made it good, is like it was like disarmingly goofy, but not in like some self-deprecating way. It was just like I don't give a fuck.
But also you might have hit something where I'm reminded of it because there's a commercial running. I've been meaning to send this to you. With that exact song of people like dancing in the like bopping to it in the car. And I wish I think like a Nissan. I don't know that I've been seeing it. It's on TV nonstop, honestly.
Someone's on my
Someone's on
my TikTok.
I don't even doubt that. Honestly, the way TikTok works.
I mean, the like pre-production was probably done before that TikTok went up, but I just thought it's pretty funny because it's just every time I hear it, I just think of that video now of you dancing every time. Yeah. And I even gave you a good recommendation for the next song to use. You
did. And like, you know what? Like, it was what the Talking Heads, this is the place or movie?
Yeah.
It's like I was inspired to make a silly, dumb video. And like,
hey, bro, your talent. Come on. You got to turn it on like this.
But that's it. And trust me, I can, bro. Give me a microphone and put me across from the fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like I'm going to cut a promo.
Sure.
I'm good there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In front of like wrestling fans, like I could do that. But this, if like you gave me a room, 25, well, Papa Shango shirt. If you gave me like a room filled with like, you know, like 30-year-old like single women, and they're like, make us laugh, big boy. I don't have that. But
you do have that, because don't you think most of your life that has been like at least 1 or 2 on the attractive scale for you and any woman you're with? Like being funny and goofy and being the kind of clown to some degree.
Yeah, but I don't.
Not in a negative way.
That's like on the spot. That's on the spot. Like
you've been hitting that. I can't
relative to what's being said and done already.
Exactly. I can't isolate that and create it from scratch. I can't create the moment from scratch, which I did accidentally with the dancing. But I can't. Like what I do is like. You know, something I would do with like a girlfriend is like I'd go up to the door. It's gonna sound very bad, but it's the opposite. I go to the door when we're walking into a like, you know, Subway. I'll open the door just enough for my body to go in, and I'll slide my body in sideways and close the door, like let the door close like right behind me. It was only open like 9 inches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah,
exactly. And I don't open the door, and that's me being like. That's fun.
Yeah, that's you being a cheeky bastard.
I see movies, and it's always like the guy's like he's like romantic, especially growing up like in the 90s and like early 2000s, like those movies, the guy's like so romantic and chill. It's a fucking Twilight vampire. He's so like whoa, you know? And really I'm like, that's not that chill. What's chill is like not holding the door open and then being like, oh please, you know, or like, you know, farting together.
No, what's bad for me is
pull
like
back on that last one.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a reaction. I'm trying to see
how many of you guys fart together with your significant other and laugh about it all day?
All day.
So, yeah, it's funny. I'm actually I have it like reversed in my relationship in a weird kind of way. Like I don't fart and she does.
You have to. You know what? We got to find baseline though here. Do we all find farts funny? Just in general? Yeah,
I mean, of course. That, you know, that goes without saying in a way.
That's universal.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just for the people listening, like you find farts funny, like if you met a person, if you were at the gas station, completely fake scenario, you were at the gas station, and you were like, excuse me, sir, which way to get to here? And he looks at you and he goes, oh, make a left down there. He gives you directions. You're like, thanks. And then he karate kick farts. Is that fucking hilarious to you? Or are you like, this guy's a
But you know why that works? You know why that works? Because it's an outdoor. He's outdoors. He's made a good decision. He's respecting you with the fart game. Like, it's okay. Like,
okay. Joke, I'll still make you laugh. I know what you're saying and I agree with you, but this is also very hilarious.
Like, I don't know you. You walk into my house, karate kick fart in my face and leave. No,
I'm like, yo, your house? No way.
I'm like, yo, that guy's
no way. Even if it's the first time I met you, if you walk in my house and it's the first time I met you fart, I'd be like, you get out. Yeah, for 5 years.
You gotta be at a gas station
better.
or something, like some outdoor event.
Even if it's not outdoors, check this out. All 3 of us were in Vegas. We get in the elevator. We're going up 10 floors. The second floor, a guy gets in. Okay. As soon as the doors close.
Already, this guy's a weirdo, by the way, because he's getting on at 2 and going to 10. Like, what a weirdo.
Yeah. He steps in and he just a little. And then he looks back at us and he goes, that's gonna smell really bad. We're laughing.
No, I'm getting off.
We're laughing.
No,
you're laughing. Okay, you hit the 4th floor. You're trying to catch the next floor, but you're still laughing about it.
No, you're laughing. I'm very serious. I'm just staring at that person and being like, wow.
Bro, if I looked at you and you're serious and we're in Vegas, like I'm grabbing you by the neck and I'm shaking you. I'm making you take your shirt. I'm making you take your nose out of your shirt.
For me, it's both. This is like the perfect reaction. Harley's laughing. Lynch is mad. I'm laughing, but I'm mad. I'm laughing because it's hilarious, but I also wish it didn't happen.
You're like,
exactly.
Definitely cover.
Exactly.
Definitely cover my nose for that one.
I remember like one of my first girlfriends ever. I was like, yeah, we should fart in front of each other, and then like days later, her being like, I have to fart, and I'm like, you're ready? And she's like, yeah, and she jumped on the bed like on her back and like kicked both her feet back in the air and like grabbed her ankles, and her ass was like pointing straight up to the sky, and like just let out a loud fart.
And you're like, that's not what I meant.
That's classic.
And I was like, yo, like, take that down a couple notches.
Right.
You're at like an
that's like
11.
you know she's chilling with her friends doing that exact move.
Bro,
every time.
like
No, but that's why it's funny, because it's like, you're like, let's fart in front of each other. And you meant like, look, if you have to fart, let it go. Let's not be weird. And she's like, she did it like you were her little brother.
she went
And
X
you're like-
Games on that shit.
Yeah, you're like, that's not what I meant.
she hit X
She
Games
went
on
X
what I
Games
meant.
mode, fucking backflip off the bed, McTwist.
All she had to do is pull the lighter out and fucking create a huge fire.
It was
out of
almost there. Like, it's like she wanted not to do it. Yeah,
That's
I also
good.
thought it ruined the perfectly good position too. Now, like
Yeah.
on the back, grabbing ankles is not so hype because I only think of the fart, the first fart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And you know, there's
Yeah.
been
Well, that
sneaking
could
out
go
on you
either
all the
way.
time, too.
That could
yeah,
go
I've
either
also
way
I've
for
also
you.
been like I'll be, maybe it's with a girl for the first time, like where it's an extended period of time. The first time we're spending like 8 hours together. I don't know. You've been hitting it off, and so you have an extended time. I always implant this around like the halfway mark. I'm like, I'm going to do something right now, and it is going to take me about 25 minutes. I'm not saying you have to shit, but if you did have to shit and you did want to shit and me not know and not smell any of it and have a comfortable loud one, now is the ideal 25-minute period to do that. And I'm not even saying you have to. Why would you? You probably don't even have to shit. But if you did want to take a horrible shit, you have a good 25 minutes. And I do implement that. That always actually also gets a laugh all the time. They like that. They're always like, no, why would you say that?
You remind me of a situation I was in that I hesitate to bring up right now.
Good.
Probably
That's-
cut it.
that's
probably
peak.
cut it out.
Bro,
This one-
actually,
this
you
one.
better not.
Actually, no, it's going in the thumbnail. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Let's see. So this is a different scenario. I was dating my current wife for a period of time where we were comfortable with all that. All the stuff you're describing is cool. But we were visiting my now brother-in-law and his wife at their place down in like California. And they lived in this, they just moved in. They lived in a 1-bedroom apartment
California.
with 1 bathroom. And the bathroom was in their it was an ensuite. It was in their bedroom.
That's the
And
only
I hadn't spent-
bathroom.
Only bathroom in their unit, okay? Which is one of the dumbest designs in history. Like, who the fuck makes a place where the bathroom is in your bedroom? Only. No, that's like never have a guest over, right? And I was confronted after I was in California, like I was younger then, so I was on a fucking tear. Like I was eating what do you call it? What's the burger place that escapes me right now? But I was
Shake
eating,
Shack?
In and out.
In and Out. Like I was like cruising down to Santa Barbara eating.
What year was
In-N-Out,
this?
This is like, I must have been like 22, so maybe like, I don't know, like a long time ago. Before like a long time ago, probably even before or right around Epic Meal Time, to be honest with you.
Okay, I'll allow the in and out constant visits then.
And I one of those ones, it's gonna be powerful. Like it's a big dog, and there's no escaping it. I'm at their place. Like where am I gonna go? I already have enough problems. Like I won't go to like a restaurant. I won't go to a public place. And I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna go take a look around the grounds, see what's going on around here. And I just left. Yeah, I left, and I went down to the
Did you
pool
bring
area.
wipes?
No, I went down to the pool area, and it was like a newer building. And when I tell you the relief that I got when I walked into this like pool section, and this bathroom was like spotless,
Clean,
huge,
just clean, no one
I'm
using
picturing
it.
individual, no one there, just me solo. One of the 10 on 10 experience. I was so happy. I was relieved. Everything's great. I go fast forward like 5 years, we're like all chit chatting, hanging out, and it's brought up that they thought it was really weird that I decided to just leave their unit. They didn't know me at this point. To just go look around, and I revealed the truth. And I was like, look, your bathroom was in your bedroom, and I had a 10 on 10 alarm going on right now. And
You
they
didn't
thought
tell
this whole
them that
time.
then?
I didn't know them. I wasn't
Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah.
Like I didn't know them like that.
No,
So it took 5 years for this information to be revealed, and they were like, "Oh, we thought you were so weird this whole time."
Yeah. I would have brought it up right away. I'd have been like, I had to go shit.
But this is why you're the funny, goofy, chill guy.
I had to shit somewhere fierce
yeah.
in the pool.
No.
No, but I would have figured you're like smoking crack or something if you did it.
Yeah.
I gotta go for a walk, you guys.
Yeah, you probably sounded so bait. You have a shit in your ass. You're sweaty. You're like, I gotta go look around.
Yeah, exactly.
Look
I want to see the grounds. Speaking of bathroom placement, you ever see these houses where the bathroom is in the front vestibule?
Oh.
So you walk in the front door, and basically there's like that little entrance area. And if you keep going straight, you're into the main hallway, staircase, kitchen, whatever.
Sure.
But on the left, there's a little door, and there's a shitter in this thing, like a broom closet with a shitter in it.
Yeah.
In the front vestibule. And I always wondered what that design's all about. Because imagine you're like...
That's like the powder room. It's like a quick move. Like
yeah, exactly.
Out,
it's
right?
like a powder room.
You check out your face. You make sure you have no boogers in your nose or anything in your teeth.
But dude, to enclose a toilet like that and then have it be, if there is a smell, not only is there a smell, but it's greeting you at the door. Anyways,
so
speaking of food related,
I want to say one thing. So we do cover like a few food stories like in this podcast, and clearly we get to a bunch of different places from there. So we are gonna like hit a few things we found interesting, no matter what. And I came across this one thing.
I came across a big dump in the street.
Big giant shit at Taco Bell. I was like, yeah, sweet, dude.
Years ago.
Yeah. I came across this this
what did you come across?
Wave Taco Bell. It was a new wave Taco Bell. Sorry, I can't speak right now. I'm just looking at the pictures.
It's like a cyberpunk Taco Bell.
It's called Taco Bell Defy. I don't know. That's a very like crazy. I don't know where they came with Defy, like what they're trying to tell us with that. Like they're defying the odds, maybe. I'm not sure.
The odds.
But it's like the most future drive-through you could possibly get.
Yeah, it's like a 2-floor Taco Bell with like mad drive-thrus like under the Taco Bell. And it's like 2 floors.
Oh, so you could like go to different floors of drive-through.
And it does look like it looks like it's from Night City. It looks like Taco Bell in Night City, which is from Cyberpunk. It's got like blue LED lights, purple LED lights all over it. And it's got like this super futuristic cut to it. I mean, they're still like selling you fucking beef squirted into a fucking.
No, it's like a big kitchen upstairs, and it's fully automated. Like it's like you don't actually interact with someone face to face. You go through it, and
I like that.
Your food shoots down in like a some proprietary, I don't know, what do you call these? Like a little elevator down in front of you in your car, and you grab it and you go. And I was like, well, this is crazy. I'm like, this is perfect for someone like me who, like, if I'm gonna go eat fast food, like I don't want to see anyone. I just want to.
I love it. Honestly, I love it. I think this should be mandatory. This should be the only way fast food exists. We don't need the interior of a fast food restaurant anymore. I mean, I guess you should have a window or something.
Yeah, you got to have a ball pit before you eat.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to put your kid in a ball pit at McDonald's before they eat, though.
Yeah, got to have somewhere to catch dysentery in the building. But, yeah, no, I love it.
So I went to... sometimes I forget about the weird life aspects, but like I went to the Taco Bell test kitchen a couple years in a row. And one year they made us try Taco Bell Cantina. And it was like
Star Wars Cantina.
Yeah, but Taco Bell, same creatures inside though. And like what's his name is still playing. Oh shit. What's his name? Fuck. I'm fucking up. The Blue Elephant. My God.
What?
Anyways, the Blue Elephant. No, the Blue Elephant from
Amir.
Star Wars that plays the music. It's not even a deep cut. It's a shallow Star Wars cut. But I'm just
like
up.
Fucking salacious.
Anyways, the Taco Bell Cantina. We tried these items from there. It's a Taco Bell that's like. It's in California and it's all like it's like wooden and by the beach, and it's by far the most beautiful Taco Bell you've ever seen in your life. And their menu had specific things there that were like these awesome, really like these
Max
steak
Rebo.
tacos. Max Rebo, thank you. These steak tacos, and they were like, it was like high quality steak for Taco Bell. It was like on another level. It was like one step above, and it's such a beautiful Taco Bell. And they had us try all the items on the menu, and that was fun. But like they gave you like a little glass, like a little cup, like a little paper cup with water. and the water was just like warm, like just regular room temperature water. So you're eating this Taco Bell item and then another one, and then you like just put warm water enough to kind of just fill your mouth and make it wet, not even swallow. And I'm like, oh, can I get a drink? And they're like, oh, someone can get you water. And they're not like, that's not the function. They're not there to like get water for us. They're like, you know, they want to know.
You like cleansing your palate or something?
It's not even. They just like, it's like they didn't consider that.
Legal.
And then someone's like, oh, I'll go get the water. And then they come back with the same little glass and you like wet your tongue again. But now you don't want to tell them like, oh, I want another water. Can I have 5? Because like, it's like, that's not what you're there to do. And you're kind of like chilling. You're kind of like waiting to maybe get a PS4 or a PS Vita also. These scenarios are very strange. You go to like Taco Bell and they're like, and we got something for you. And you're like, okay.
There might be a memory stick or it might be an actual Xbox.
Literally, it could be a Taco Bell
it's
t-shirt.
An Alienware laptop and you're like, oh, cool. Thanks, guys.
It literally could be a Taco Bell Xbox, which I have too. You turn them on, they make the Taco Bell bell noise when you turn them on. Or like it could be a t-shirt or like a $25 gift certificate to a Taco Bell.
You never
you're
know.
there and you're like stuff and you're like, it's so good. There's water and you're like, and then you eat more. They're like, eat more tacos, eat more of these chips, eat more of these like things that you so badly want to fucking
microchipped you, bro.
You want a fucking Baja Blast, but you don't say shit because you also want that PS Vita. So you're just like, you're chilling and you're eating it, you know? And the whole day, it's just like at Taco Bell, it's good vibes, it's chill, but they don't have Baja Blast for you. Infinite tacos, no Baja Blast, no beverage. Infinite tacos with no beverage. It's like almost not even worth it.
I might trade the Vita for like a DC, to be honest.
10,000 spoons. 10,000 spoons. And all you need is a knife. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out to Alanis.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Did you know she was dating that, and this everything I'm saying is, I guess, I thought this is a thing that people know, and I don't, anyways, I'm just talking nonsense from the internet. She was dating Uncle Joey.
Dave Coulier.
Yeah, Dave Coulier.
Yeah, I knew that because the song was supposed to be about him.
Exactly. And she talks about giving him a blowjob in the movie theater.
Yeah, he's like, oh, damn, that's me.
Wow.
And a song about Uncle Joey.
But that was a big thing when her album came out. People were trying to figure out who this, who Jagged, who was it about? Like, what's this about? What's all this? There's a lot going on. A lot of get off your chest in that album.
I wonder if he was ever like, I made you. I made you.
I did it. Yeah.
He was like, cut it out.
I did notice a couple things about this Demolition Man Taco Bell, because that's, people did point that out when I saw this, that it's basically Demolition Man talked about this. There was a Taco Bell in that movie because Taco Bell won the franchise wars, which I completely forgot about, that they have a whole Taco Bell integration in that movie, and that's where they take him to like reward him. It's like, you get to go to Taco Bell.
I have a Taco Bell t-shirt. I have a Demolition Man t-shirt, and like it has all the things on it, and like it literally has Taco Bell front and center. Like they're like all into Taco Bell.
That's like crazy. What a good integration for them. It's like,
it's the only restaurant that remains, and that year is 2032. And like, I can't believe how close we are to that.
Yeah, look, they have this insane thing. But what I noticed about this insane Taco Bell they built is 3 of them for online orders, 1 of them for just showing up and getting something for the lanes. And I'm not a guy who online orders fast food. Like, I don't pre-plan my fast food program. I'm not like, hey, I'm gonna pick
it's
this.
always a fuck up.
It's
Exactly.
Always a last minute fuck
game
up.
time decision. I'm rolling up.
Yeah,
So
you
how do
don't
they
choose
ratio
to
it
go
like
for
that?
fast food. You give in to accepting fast food that's there.
Because so part of the function is they want you to have this QR code ready. I'm like, I don't plan that far ahead when it comes to fast food. I'm not thinking about it like that.
I might not even have
I
battery in
haven't-
my phone when I'm showing up there. That's the kind of position I might be in.
I haven't watched football at all this year, but my favorite thing about football, watching it, was that it was a planned, tactical, surgical strike on your tummy of fast food. Like, I knew when I was going to, like, our cousin's house to watch football, it's like we were getting pizza, we were going to have fast food, and we were going to eat like fucking cake. I knew this. And like that's what I liked about it. It was like a long ass day of like really being scum.
Yeah.
And it was chill. We actually knew this bodybuilder guy that used to come. So we'd all watch football. We'd go to my cousin's house to watch football. And it's like, we'd order like something shit. Like we'd order like Little Caesars. We'd get like 5 pizzas. And this is like during the barbecue chicken meta, which we all hate now. The barbecue chicken meta, where it's like your pizza was barbecue sauce with chicken.
Rose all day, bro.
And yeah, that's fire. But so we'd get like 5 pizzas, we'd get wings, we'd get like the brownies things there, the cinnamon sugar lizard tails. What
Sounds
have
like from
you?
a commercial, like a football commercial.
Yo, I never knew about those lizard tails. You ordered those one time at your house. I was like, this fucking thing exists. Yeah.
That had you fucked up though, because if you guys figured this out properly, you could take on beaver tails.
It's
like if you figured it out, you could take on anti-ants. You could take on Good Castor.
You can't say that either.
Good Gaston.
Yeah, only company that ever was like, change your thumbnail and don't use our name.
Really?
Like, bro, we don't even know if you're allowed to ask us this. So hold on.
Right.
Hold up for
like,
6 days. We don't even know if you're allowed.
And one of them had Kevin Smith in the video too.
Wait, so I would go to my cousin's house and we'd order all this pizza, all this food, all the wings, all that shit. But there was a guy that was bodybuilding at the time. You know, this guy we'll just say his name's Will. So this guy Will would come and he's like trying to be a bodybuilder. And this is like a long time ago. This is like 15 years ago. I'm not really never really been around guys like this. So he'd come in and he had his own supersized Big Mac meal and he'd eat that while we were ordering. Like he just getting started. And then he'd make all the moves with us. All the pizza, all the lizard tails, the brownies, the wings. He'd make all those moves and we're all tapping out. He's still going. He finishes it. And then he'd go upstairs and he'd come down with a whole pie. And he would sit there with a fork and eat this whole pie.
What kind of pie?
It varies. It was all through the season. And then he'd sit down in the corner with like his hands on his tummy. And he'd close his eyes gently over like 5 minutes because he'd be slowly falling asleep because he ate everything. And by the time the night games roll around, I'd look over at him and like, I swear he's grown. You could watch him grow in real time. This was a guy who like was working out heavy the whole time. And then on Sunday, he's going off like he's trying to hit like 8,000 calories or whatever. And you just watch him sleep and I swear he's just like, like you look back every quarter and he's bigger. It was crazy. Nice. Just a trip. Things were different back then. We all went to the gym the first time, like the year 2000 around, let's say, maybe give or take a year. And like you went to the gym, you needed to know a person who goes to the gym to be like, here's what you do. Yeah. You literally need at least one time for every day or every exercise. That was a valuable thing, a person who could take you to the gym. Now I go to the gym and I see kids that are like, man, they're like vascular, like crazy. Their mass is huge. They're doing these like really intelligent workouts. And honestly, they could be like on drugs also, but just the knowledge and the availability of information.
Even getting pumped up back then was like tougher. You know, like once I got a hold of pump and iron, like that was my pump up to go to the gym, other than a really savage pre-workout.
You mean like motivation, something to motivate?
Like motivation stuff. Like now you can just go online. There's like a million things you can watch to get hyped up to go work out. Back then,
we used to have to listen to Limp Bizkit to get.
Yeah, I used to pop in the DVD. I used to pop in the Pump and Iron DVD and like go to a segment that I was like Lou Ferrigno working out in the basement in whatever, New York or whatever. I was like, okay, I'm ready now. Let's go.
Yeah. So what do you do now? You put on like fitness motivation.
No, I eat rose pizza. No, I like Machiavelli motivation. It's like a classic.
Sometimes those hit you hard.
Oh yeah, sometimes
they hit you so hard and you're sitting there like eating and you're like, damn, tomorrow's gonna be crazy.
I don't want to tell my wife yet. Yeah, exactly. Tomorrow is gonna be. That's what I say every time I eat my pizza.
Tomorrow's gonna be wild. I'm going off.
I haven't told my wife yet that we're gonna be putting posters up of Jay Cutler and Ronnie. Just all our wallpaper is gonna become that. So I'm just constantly motivated 24/7 to work out. Our whole house is gonna be that. Even the TV, it's just motivational workouts all day.
That's
it. Constantly.
What
put a
do you
skin on
like?
my
What do you
laptop.
like from a motivation? You like when they're like, the guy's like, every day you have that conversation in your head.
Listen,
Every day they say the same thing that you don't have what it takes.
Yeah.
Every day you sit there, or do you like the ones where it's showing clips like from when a guy's like, I don't have it. And they're like, you gotta push through. You gotta push through.
No.
Or do you like the ones where it's like, embrace masculinity? And then it shows like fucking SEAL Team 6 rappelling through fucking windows and stuff with guns. And like,
I mean, you know,
a symphony playing, and it's like got Steve Jobs like holding up the new iPhone, and you're like, I gotta go and I gotta make some shit happen for myself.
I mean,
It's got Jordan Peterson
depends.
like, who's building the roads?
No.
Who's working in the
Sorry,
sewers?
not beautiful.
I would say Goggins was pretty effective for a while there, just like because you just know you're
Goggins.
he's just such a like
Hey, but
psycho.
wait. But wait, you saw Goggins, and I agree. That was just like, damn, this is what humans could be like. But then, like, years later, you're like, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Kind of wild, actually.
Look, man, you can't argue.
Listen, I even read his
with
book.
results.
Forget that. I even read his book, and it's just like basically telling you like stop being such a pussy. Like go do it.
You ever go
kind
to
of like kind of like how Tate was talking to Aiden Ross on live the other day. You know,
that was actually
Shout out
hilarious.
to r/thanks I'm cured. Yeah, you guys are such like emotional exercisers. Like you need to get all hyped
because
up
it's either
to
a pizza
exercise.
or I'm going to work out. It's one or the other. I can't
I'm gonna like
decide.
put
It's
on
whatever hits me
fucking
first.
Ace Ventura as a timer and just like swing kettlebells in front of my TV until the credits roll. Be like, all right, that was enough time, I guess.
I don't actually need the motivation like that. I do go much harder. If I find like a new song or playlist, I could go off for sure. But ultimately, like, I mean, I go into the gym and I'll watch like I'll put on like Destiny debating someone. And like,
Yeah, me too.
And I'll sit there
Yeah.
and I'll like just lift to that for a while.
Yeah. It's I you know what the thing is, like I consume. It's like a vertical of content that I'm just interested in general. So I end up just consuming content. Like I watch, you know, look, I always watch like, I guess, quote unquote, bodybuilding content, you know, whether it be like Louis Marco back in the day. You know, we like, it's like I mentioned Pumping Iron. You and I, like there was always an interest in following this stuff. It never changed. Like I still liked it when it was Ronnie. I still liked it when it was Jay Cutler. I still liked it with Phil. You know, and Kai and all these guys, like I still followed that all the way through. And not that that's motivation.
So many good eras, eh? We really
Oh
did
my
live
God.
through really some incredible eras in bodybuilding. Guys, for anyone listening, I'm sure there's people listening that are like, oh, this is so stupid. Like just the concept of bodybuilding. Like I understand, like if it's not something that anyone would care about because it's just weird looking. But truth be told, you should rent and watch Pumping Iron if you've never seen it. And I know like there's people listening that are like, I've heard of this movie, or like it's just a great starting point. It's just like an interesting way to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger in his young days.
Right before he becomes like essentially the biggest actor in the world.
Yeah.
This is kind of the last thing, right? Because it's the end of his run of Mr. Olympia. As they made this documentary right at the end of his run. Pretty much the last one. I'm fairly certain. I think he did Conan after that. He did a bunch of stuff after that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys
just
should watch Pumping Iron. It's a really phenomenal movie. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's basically his first movie after Hercules in New York.
And you can tell right away he's just ready for it.
He really is. It's fascinating. And also, if you look at him, if you look at his body at the time, it really is like an incredible body. Like bodybuilding is different now.
Oh yeah.
There's like levels. There's, you know, those guys that look like huge mutated slabs of meat that are vacuum sucked tight into skin. That's my favorite. Like, I was watching this thing. They were saying like, oh yeah, I forget what the context was, but they were talking about the old bodybuilding competitions. And they were like, oh yeah, we did drug testing one year. And then a couple of guys who never missed the shows every year, they came and they were like, don't ever drug test again. Because we pay good money, we sit in the front row seats, we want to see the freaks. And like I actually do also, like I really very much
Are we
enjoy.
talking about that? I was just reading about this too. I don't know what I was consuming.
I watched a video.
Once again,
I watched a video. Maybe you saw the same video because we share.
you and I are
recommended
like sometimes
page.
we just end up on the same side of YouTube. Like we just are watching the same video without even realizing it.
We share a recommended page because we're both like logged into Epic Mealtime, so we're sharing it. But I did watch something and they said that, and like it's true. Like I always like those huge mutated, like not natural people. Like if you look like a 90s, like mid 90s Superman cartoon comic drawing, like Man of Steel, that's sick. I love that shit.
Now that's like classic physique now and not bodybuilding, because the guys now are so fucking huge and insane.
Right. So it's like the guys who are not the biggest are actually the size of Arnold now, who used to be the biggest. Like Chris Bumstead he's got to be Arnold's size, right?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. If you look at Arnold, if you really look at Arnold back then and you look at him now, I was actually watching something about Arnold, like how like he wasn't that jacked. I saw some like shorts video or something like that, like showing Arnold when he wasn't off season or not in shape, and like Chris Bumstead is insane. Like these guys are insane looking.
Well, the technology
compared to what they were
different.
back then. Even your legs didn't have to be as crazy back then either. Like it wasn't like you had to have the most insane. Like now you got to be.
What do you
like,
mean? Jay Cutler brought out the quad stomp.
Oh, I love the
one
quad
time,
stomp. Guys
listening. There's this huge dude who's also a legendary guy. He like stomped the ground while posing in little underwear, because that's basically what we're talking about. And it flexed all the muscles in his quad, and just like ever since then, every guy is, I'd be like, you gotta go out there and stamp the ground and flex my quad, because like that's what they do. Sometimes these guys, like, they're 1v1, and like if you don't know the sport, it's like weird because it's just two greased up dudes that look identical on stage. They're just mutants, but like really there are some differences. And then they'll like turn around and one will like tuck his underwear into his ass crack, showing how big his ass muscles are. And the other guy wouldn't do that because his ass muscles aren't as pronounced. Like everything's so huge that you got to get down to the details now, like the ass muscle. And this guy tucks his underwear in. The other guy doesn't. That's like a motherfucking headshot 1v1 on Rust. Like, that's crazy. That's
what's funny about it is that you said something as a sport, but it is because you said something like interesting about it is that, you may not notice if you don't know anything about it, but the second someone points it out to you, like, here's the difference between this guy and that guy, and you see it, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I see it now. Because yes, just like zoomed out and you look like, oh, they're just you two jacked people, like just working out or just like showing themselves off. And it is, and you can say it's not a sport in many respects, but at the same time, what you don't understand, for them to look like that, to show up and be like exactly dialed in for that exact moment in time, is like a significant amount of work. It's like when they're posing, they're actually not they feel the worst they've felt this entire time. They're not like eating all the food they want. They're not hydrated. They're like completely depleted. But that's what you got to do if you want to have paper thin skin, essentially. And it's got to be timed perfectly.
That's the craziest thing. People are
so they got coaches.
Misery is peaking. Their misery is peaking on stage.
I don't know how we got to this whole bodybuilding conversation.
Well, what's crazy about that bodybuilding stuff is once people like point things out to you or you start to see stuff and notice it, that's when you instantly look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh no. Oh, no.
Yeah. You're like, the cut I was most proud of is actually like baby stuff, like baby.
I literally would like I remember just growing up, like it's not like people would be like, you look Jewish. To me, no one would ever say that. It's not like a thing I got often, and like until you know my name is Ornstein, and you're like, okay. So I never looked Jewish, and then like after looking at bodybuilding and stuff, and then like being naked in the mirror before I get in the shower, I'm like, I do look Jewish. This is very much a naked Jewish man's body.
But
it's very much a 6'6" Larry David getting into the shower.
Literally
right now.
is. Like,
well, you say that, but when you go to camp, you're top tier though. If you go to camp,
but top tier. Okay, I'm like playing basketball better than the 5'4" David Cohen. There's 4 of them on the court. There's 4 David Cohens on the court.
Yeah.
You're the dreidel champ.
Listen, I doubt you guys put it together, but last week I was like, let's make a list of 10 movies. Did you guys Did you guys make a list? It's actually still cool if you did it, because I thought it'd be a good idea.
I don't think I have a full 10. I think I have.
Well, I have a 10 here, and I thought at least like so that people get an idea of because I think movies is a good baseline understanding of someone.
Yeah.
Like you'd be like, I don't know. Like I mentioned Woody from PKA, his favorite movie, I think he said was Avengers Endgame.
That's
which is just funny.
so lame.
Not to, you know, I'm not gonna bash it, but I feel like I know. I feel like I know a lot about you now. I can judge a lot.
It's really hard for me to. I got a few together. I got like
this is an unfair task
together,
to be honest with you, because we're capturing these every week, and frankly, like, you know, we got other things to do than to sit around and debate internally on our top 10. And I think this is more of like a working list maybe we create. And you're right, maybe like a top. Maybe I already teased 2 for me, but I will say after going and considering a few other items, because I did consider the list, I did put together sort of a group. I even got a special guest, gave me their top 10. Somehow they managed to figure it out.
Bro, I used to be a teacher. You think you're going to come at me with this bullshit? You didn't do your homework? And act like I'm not there. What's up, bro? Like, I know all the tricks of the trade, bro. You didn't do your homework.
My dog ate the homework. My baby ate the homework.
Somebody called that out in like the YouTube comments. He was like, yeah, next time you're making a list of movies. And I was kind of like, oh, fuck. These guys are going to like hold us to our assignments.
Okay, well, wait. Check this out. I do have a list of 10 with a couple runners up. And I'm not even confident because when I did start doing it, I realized it's like, and I'm sure especially Lynch, you're the type of guy, you start to look at it and something like this that you can constantly edit and change.
And you're like, are these really my 10?
You don't want to marry yourself to be like, here's my 10. So I have 10 here that I'm fairly confident with. And you guys just veto it out if you don't think it's in a top 10 that we could eventually agree upon. But let's give the audience
like you guys are going to veto
right
pie. You're going to veto
something.
pie.
Pie's already vetoed.
List.
I actually thought about Pie 5
The
times.
amount of people I spoke to about Pie. And
Pie, you have not watched Pie recently at all.
It's funny that I felt
Donnie's crazy. Donnie's
I felt like I had to put Pie in my list because I said it. And I'm like, now that I'm putting it next to my other choices, I'm like, I don't know if it stands up. But let me tell you, I had one very good night with Pie. Me and Pie had an excellent evening.
Well,
okay, you're with some girl and you were like, I love this
I was
movie.
Alone. I was alone and Netflix Canada had just started and like nobody fucking had it yet. And Pie was on it. And I was like, what's this fucking movie I never saw?
Oh, you
and
got it that late?
In like 2011.
I saw that literally. I saw it in like 2001 on DVD.
You were too young, maybe.
No, I fully understand the movie. And he ended up making that ended up being what's his name? Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah, Aronofsky.
So, I saw it because my parents would take me to like double features at the like Scummy Theater down the street.
Double features.
Pie. Oh yeah.
Shout out to 1953.
So he did make Requiem, which is, to be honest with you, I would put on the list before I put Pie, and it's not on the list.
Let's get to it. Let's get to the top 10.
Right
here. What you got?
Terminator
Harley,
2.
Go. I'm not gonna argue. It should be up there.
It's still there today. It's literally, you could watch it today. You could show it to a child today or an adult today for their first time ever. And they don't even need to see the first one or anything at all.
That's it.
It's an incredible movie.
I just showed it to my girlfriend. It was her first time.
Lynch, do you have something to say, bro? Like, you're sitting there like, do you have something to say about Terminator 2?
No,
that's not top 10 to you.
I'd like to hear the rest of the list to have.
We're just let's say you could mix it on its own. Now.
On its own.
You could just nix it right now. It's definitely not in the top 10 because there's going to be a couple here you might be like that. I got a couple here that I think you guys are going to be like
T2 definitely has a chance to
definitely
to
top 10
top
material.
10.
Shawshank Redemption.
Again.
You're not going to nix it, right?
I didn't list it, but I would never nix it.
That's fine.
It's top 10 material.
I'm down to eliminate right now.
But I'm only at 6, so I guess there's room for it.
If you feel like it's not going to be there, then cut it right now. But you're going to let that
hold on.
right?
Let me. I'll allow it for the time being, definitely.
Wow, I can't wait to hear Lynch's because he's so hesitant to accept 2 S-tier movies.
I know.
I can't wait to hear your.
I don't want the list to get out of control. I don't want to get out of control.
Okay, but what are you going to say? Like Space Jam or something? We're gonna fight.
I actually have a really good one, but I don't know if you're ready for it.
Okay, no, let's Harley go.
Well, now I feel like this is going to be a really big deciding factor for Lynch. This next one,
go for it.
Avatar.
I
That
didn't
one
even
hurts you,
consider
right?
it for my
He mad,
top
though.
10.
He mad.
I didn't consider it for my top 10, but my issue with my top 10 is that I've been digging deep. A lot of it's
Yeah, mine's all old as
old.
fuck.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
older stuff, right? Because it's like when you're trying to determine a top 10, you like a movie for various reasons. It could be an experience, like we talked about. It's like a moment in time. Maybe you made the right call. You got the right movie theater situation, which is perfect. You know, maybe it's tied to like
Rogue
your youth
One
in
for
some
me.
way. Like, yeah, exactly. Or you and your buddies, like it's tied to that. There's a lot of reasons why I like a movie. Avatar was very important for sure. And I'll allow it into the group list we're going to put right now, but I haven't even considered it.
Okay.
Not that I'm the gatekeeper for this top 10
No,
list,
but this is it. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like Yar, though. Sounds like
Batman.
Yar so far.
I am actually. I get to decide. Go.
Batman Begins.
No.
It's funny, okay? Batman Begins is a better Batman, but I have Dark Knight in my list. Spoiler alert. I have Dark Knight because for me, all things considered, like story, cinematography, the fact that we got Heath Ledger as Joker, that the role fucking killed him, like just the whole situation of Dark Knight. Dark Knight is also like the first Blu-ray I put when I moved into my house and got a new TV and threw
Great
on Dark
Blu-ray.
Knight, and it
IMAX.
blew my fucking mind.
Full screen. It uses your whole TV.
That's
I think it just hits higher. It hits higher notes.
It
with
hits
Heath
higher
Ledger
notes, but I
as the
do
Joker.
love Batman Begins.
I love
like,
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins is better. It portrays Batman better. He attacks from the shadows. They treat him like a xenomorph from Aliens. He's rarely like out there because the fight scenes aren't like the best. So when Batman's moving through the shadows and being like a ninja, it's just very cool. And they play on this whole fear thing, and it's like a perfect telling of the story. The themes carry through the entire time. Great movie. I love it. But
it was more comic.
motherfucking Heath Ledger. It's literally the number one thing. That's the difference.
But you know what I saw?
It's
Dark Knight
like
was
Heath Ledger
grittier.
and the Joker.
I kind of watched, like we're talking about that, like how much did you watch Batman Returns? Like I kind of fucked with that movie really heavy growing up.
I
watched,
did, but I kind of like
that VHS.
Right? I had that.
They're
VHS
just
on,
weird.
like,
They're
repeat.
kind of weird for me to watch these days. They're just weird.
Yeah.
for me.
Last time you
They
talked
do
It
about
takes me
not
to a
popped
place. It takes me to a place in life even that I'm not even that like hyped about. Like I
Yeah,
don't really
it's
wanna
grade
be-
3.
grade 2, grade 3, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't really want
Takes
to.
me to a place where I didn't do my geometry homework. Like
I had no power or control.
Yeah,
of my
exactly.
destiny. I didn't like that.
But I was hyped for my Hanukkah gift. That was a
great
watching
VHS.
Batman
That's a
Returns.
classic VHS. That
Classic
Batman Returns
VHS.
for me.
Incredible-
I can still
incredible,
smell that plastic.
Incredible
It's
McDonald's.
not going to
cup.
make it. I get it. It's fine.
Incredible
Batman
McDonald's
Begins
glass.
is not for me. Not going to crack top 10. So
Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, so for me, Revenge of the Sith is my. If I could pick one, because I out of respect, I have to pick in trilogy. Even though overall experience, I probably loved Rogue One, but I would never pick that as my one Star Wars movie. But Revenge of the Sith for me is my Star Wars pick.
Yeah, that's very.
I didn't put it.
That's very
Star Wars in
early.
my top 10.
That's very mid-20s of you to choose that. That's very. You were 8 years old when Episode 1 came out. Say Revenge of the Sith is your favorite Star Wars movie. You're on the cusp of Gen Z and millennial. You're moving.
I mean, I'm firmly seated in the millennial.
Yeah, but you're moving your movies right now. You're moving like that Star Wars selection. I'm a dock you.
Yeah, because I'm talking about Dark Knight and Revenge of the Sith. But I don't know.
I'm just gonna dock you as Revenge of the Sith over Empire Strikes Back. You get docked 10 years.
You know
Not a big
what?
deal.
Star Wars didn't
Let's
crack
move
top
past
10.
it.
How about this? How about I give you my number one movie right now,
Yeah.
and
Sure,
then
go.
you
I like
decide
that.
how
Yeah.
old I am. My number one movie is Predator.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's interesting.
Yeah. See, I'm not like something like that. I expect an Aliens. I expect a Predator. There's like some like cult movies. I expect a Back to the Future, which isn't on my list. But I thought I would see a Back to the Future between us three, and I would allow it.
But
Predator's not on my list, but it's one of those ones where I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, but I agree with you. The one that I put on my list that's that I think speaks more to like how it opened more movies for me was The Godfather, because there's some people who just won't go back to the 80s or 70s. Like my wife won't watch movies from the 80s and the 70s. I love
it. Is hard.
Movies.
The
I don't
pace
watch
is
70s
slow.
movies. Pre-1970s, tough for me, to be honest. Like I'm not cracking those open. But The Godfather is one of those movies that is made in the 70s, and it's just so good. Like when you first see it, you're like, oh my God.
I did want to touch on what you just said real quick, because you said it's so slow. Looking back, I actually realized some of the movies, it's the opposite. I find Scarface ultimately to not be such a good movie when I rewatch it. However, the pacing of it is such a perfect pacing that once I've given it like 12 minutes, the rest of the movie flies through. Like once I've started 12 minutes in, that one flies, and it's not even like it's a classic. It's iconic. I love it. I always did. But it's not really the best movie. But it's paced in such a way that it's like an endless montage. The next scene is always a good one or worth it to just stick around for, and you're already in the middle of it.
But I also think that is an unlocking movie for you. That's like unlocks movies. But yes, go ahead, Donnie.
You never saw it.
I never saw Godfather.
Wow.
I never saw Godfather.
But I'm judging you at the same time.
I think I deserve to. I think I deserve to be judged. I haven't seen any Godfathers. Let me tell you, I never saw
Godfather 3, by the way.
Yeah, that's allowed.
I like watched. I don't know. I watched a lot of mob movies like Godfather.
Goodfellas.
What am I trying to say? Goodfellas. Thank you. Casino. Donnie Brasco. I can't think of them all right now. Thinking of all the ones I've seen, but I just got to a point at one point, and it was like Sopranos was. It's funny, like I just watched Sopranos because when Sopranos was out, I was mobbed out. I was kind of like a little bit done with the. I was done with the genre for a good while.
I could always go back to that well all the time. I'm ready
so
for it
and it was kind of at the time when I saw Scarface. That's when I saw movies like Blood In, Blood Out. You ever see that fucking movie?
Harley and Lynch. Blood In, Blood Out.
Fucking pulled that out. Yeah, I skipped school for a day. I was like, let's watch this, and forgot that it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, it's longer. Serious shit.
You can't find that movie
I just got to a point where I was kind of like a little bit done with organized crime, and I never went and watched Godfather. I have to watch Godfather. I have to.
Yeah, so that's your homework for next week.
But next time,
speaking of that director, one that I had on my list that is probably a lock at this point is Apocalypse Now.
Okay,
just a movie that when I saw it, and when you read about like the making of it, like everything about that movie is just so crazy.
Yeah, I love Apocalypse Now.
Fascinating. Yeah, my first experience with that movie was I saw it like in the 9th grade, and I was like, this was overrated. That's not the wording that I would have used. I didn't understand that then, but everyone around me was like, this movie's so crazy. And I watched it, and I was like, that was a really weird last 35 minutes.
It was also like an age. It was an age and a time where like we were getting, like speaking for myself here anyways, we were getting big into like weed. And there wasn't a lot of cultural references that were like open. And you would just find things that like, you know, Apocalypse Now would always make like the high times list of movies. And Apocalypse Now was just, it was in the stoner lexicon. It was in the stoner zeitgeist, was like, you kind of had to like Apocalypse Now. But I think at the time we weren't old enough or mature enough to really appreciate any context of Vietnam. Yeah. It was like Vietnam had not much context to us.
Marlon Brando showed up like they wanted him to be in the movie. And when he showed up, he was like 180 pounds heavier than that they expected him.
Yeah.
And he was
and his
like,
agent promised.
He was like, I'm not wearing pants, so you have to film me from the waist up at all times, and also you can't light my face, so you have to film me in the dark.
But and
if you go back, they did it. That's what they did. They literally had to do that.
But that's why that movie, like, it unlocked for me the idea of like learning about how movies are made, or thinking about how movies are made, and like what goes into it, and sort of like, because there's so much history with that movie specifically that I just got really into it, and then that led to me seeking out more information about other movies. This is like early on in my life when I like, when you're just sort of like watching stuff and whatever, it kind of opened and unlocked that part of movie watching for me, and like it made me more interested in the behind the scenes of how a movie happens on top of like the actual content and like what they deliver to you, ultimately.
Did you guys see Citizen Kane?
I had to watch it in like a college class, like a film class.
So
and I really I hated it. I really
Me
fucking
too.
hated it.
I watched it decades ago, and I was like, this is like very silly, stupid.
Yeah.
But Sam, actually in Rhode Island, he was like, you literally have to rewatch that movie and rewatch it in like the 4K restoration of the film, so that it's film quality and that it's not like pan and scan like what they've done. Like it's usually like it's never like in its actual film size unless you watch the 4K one. That's the film version. And he was like, yeah, you definitely have to revisit that. He's like, because it was the same for me, and I haven't got around doing it, so I'm gonna make that happen. But like, whenever I saw Citizen Kane, I was like, what the fuck, bro? Shut up. Terminator 2 is so much better.
Yeah.
I have a question. Does anyone have a comedy?
So this
in
is
their
funny you
list?
say that.
Yeah, I do.
I
An interesting one.
Oh, okay.
An interesting one. It's a debatable one. This is like a fucking.
Mine too is debatable, and it's like there's a bunch, so just pick a good one.
This is
but
this is a wild. I feel like this is going to change the conversation a little bit because it's a conversation in itself. Aladdin.
That's your favorite comedy. That's first of all. No, it's a great
I didn't
pick.
say that. I didn't say that it's my favorite comedy, but
it's a comedy in the list.
Is that my favorite Disney though? Like, is that better than Lion King? How do you feel? Because I thought about those two quite a bit. My generation's Disney movies were like Aladdin, Lion
Beauty
King,
and the Beast.
Like, and honestly, I don't think they really hold a candle to Aladdin. Lion King and Aladdin are the guys.
Yeah, that's a solid pick.
You get Robin Williams. I know this one came at the end for me, and I bumped it up to 7. But
I can't rank Lynch? Mine. I don't really have mine ranked. I said Predator is my number 1, and I meant that's the first one I wrote down.
So this is part of the difficult aspect.
But there's a reason why I started
thinking about actors. Like, when I was doing the list, I was like, well, what about Jim Carrey? Like, why isn't Jim Carrey in here? Like,
I know.
He killed it. Like he was such a big part of my movie watching growing up. Like, how do I not have him in there? Or it's like directors.
He was smoking.
1994. 94 was fire, bro.
Fire.
Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, Ace Ventura, Ventura 2. Like, let's go.
Forget it. Dumb and Dumber. You might have to argue for that. Think about how good that is. That's
you might have to put that on.
What was your comedy, Donnie?
Mine's really stupid, but I love it. I don't care. Like, it's on my list.
You're bigger than Ace Ventura. We'll see. Half baked. Great one. I could see that being someone's. Like that emotional 10.
Yeah, that's where it's from.
In that emotional 10, or is this like, are we talking like these are the 10 best movies, or you're like, these are my 10 movies?
None of these are my 10 movies.
Is definitely like one of like those movies I could see someone being like, this is my movie.
If I'm picking 10 best movies, I have to pick things that I'm not even considering right now, like The Departed is like an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Matrix.
I don't have it, but
Matrix is a big one.
See,
bro.
like, you know what I put ahead of all of those
I'm not
right
kicking
now?
Matrix out of bed. Let me tell you.
I want to hear Lynch. I want to hear.
Would you put what I put ahead of that, which is gonna probably kill me for this, but like Minority Report. Like, I fuck with Minority Report.
So do I, but not even on that level. Like, not at all.
Close,
you want Tom Cruise to be Neo so badly. That's what this is about. Like,
Lynch I'm like trying to sneak Tom in there any way I can.
Yeah, Lynch has been about Tom way more ever since Tom became Scientologist. You were always you loved his Scientology arc the most.
No, I just think like Tom Cruise kind of guy. You know my feelings. He
Clockwork Orange.
I thought Lynch was going to say that. Yeah, I mean, I saw it. I read the book. I don't know. It's like it's almost like Apocalypse Now, where it's the type of thing where it's like, how do you leave this off the list? But because
we grew up in the time when that was the good movie, it had to be in your list.
But when I'm watching it, am I having a good experience? Like, not necessarily. And when I'm reading the book, did I have to fucking get used to the Cockney. Have you ever tried reading Cockney? It takes like 100 pages to get used to it.
You told me that.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, man. Like, how many have we named already? Because
I got more for you. Hold up.
Let's go. Hit me.
The Professional. I already the Professional. Leon the Professional.
There's so many other movies like that fall in that category.
You don't like that? Like, that's a Gary Oldman.
Man on Fire?
Gary Oldman's always incredible. I love Man on Fire. I'll put The Professional above that. I'll put The Professional above
with
The
De Niro
Fan
and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I put Professional above both of those. But I do like Man on Fire quite a bit.
Man on Fire is a very rewatchable movie.
Give me that. Let's hear it. What is it?
Gladiator.
Now that's a movie I'd absolutely watched a million times.
That's why I can't take it away. I feel like
why do you think you watched it?
15 years that was in a top 10, and I don't know if it's still there, but for 15 years. You know what? You know why Gladiator's out? Because Whiplash is in. Whiplash came in, took Gladiator out for me. I think Whiplash is one of my favorite movies. Watched it many, many times. And that's I got
like a weird one.
That shit's new. Everyone listening should watch Whiplash if you haven't seen it. I think it's on Prime.
This one, like, I don't know, like, this definitely not on anyone else's list in this group. It's just a weird one. I fucking love this movie. Evil Dead 2.
Interesting. Evil Dead 2. Interesting.
Yeah, 2.
I saw a tweet.
Specifically.
I saw a tweet that was like, Sam Raimi after making Evil Dead 1 and 2. Now let's do a silly one. I like Evil Dead 3 probably better.
I got a good one for you. I'm out on the Evil Dead 2 pick.
3 Army of Darkness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to put, how about Serial Mom?
I crossed my mind. I didn't even know Joey knew that.
Pussy Willow.
At that point, we're talking about Drop Dead Fred also? Like, we put a Drop Dead Fred in our top 10?
Serial Mom was just for you, though. That was
Serial Mom.
We watched that movie 1,000 times over the years. It was crazy. We always watched Serial Mom.
Yeah, Serial Mom. Fuck, I don't know. If we're going to start talking shit like that, it's like I almost need to put Home Alone in my top 10 right now.
No,
you're not even wrong for that, though. You wouldn't even
I know.
I
know. That's more right than Serial Mom. That's for sure. That's definitely
I don't know if it is. If I had to choose to watch one right now, I would choose Serial Mom over Home Alone.
But that's the novelty of it, because Serial Mom's not popping up like that. Like Home Alone pops up all the time.
Yeah, Christmas, you're going to get Home Alone soon.
Drop Dead Fred also wouldn't really hold up, even though I was obsessed with that
Drop
fucking
Dead Fred
movie.
is probably terrible. What about American History X?
Yeah. It's funny. It's like what I should do for my top 10. It's like just look through like the Blu-rays you own, because like you don't own that many actual Blu-rays where you'll be like
King Kong 300, all those Blu-rays you bought when
The Watchmen.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want me to give you Dersh's top 10?
Yeah,
let's bang him out. Bang out.
Yeah, let's hurt him.
Bang him out.
I even made him rank it, and so he's probably gonna be annoyed after this. You'll think of another one, but you ready?
He's listening and waiting. He's like, "Why you guys had a fucking hour 20 before you drop my?" Okay, go.
Are these in order? This is number 1.
This is in order.
So then start from 10.
Mentions.
Let's go from 10.
10.
Yeah.
2 Hands. Classic Australian film. That's actually Heath Ledger. I know this one. And I'm going to say this right now. Some of my movie tastes did come from your brother specifically, because when we lived near each other, he had a very clutch DVD collection. This is back when there was no such thing as Netflix, and you had to go to the movie store to rent stuff. And he definitely introduced a lot of movies into my life. Not saying all my tastes, but a bunch.
No, but everyone has that like brother or uncle or somebody that like was old enough to buy movies when you were still a kid.
Yeah, so this is Heath Ledger plays a bouncer at a strip club.
This is before. I think this is back in like an Australian movie.
Yeah, this is way back. So
never seen him.
Number 9.
Sure,
never met him.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah, that's funny. I actually watched this at his house, at his apartment when he was in Montreal. It was there, and I was like, "Oh, I've never seen this," and I've literally heard The Simpsons reference it. So I should watch.
Yeah, of course.
I watched it.
Spinal Tap's huge on The Simpsons.
Classic. I mean, it's a classic.
Yeah.
I
got that literally in like 2004.
Shout out to the most Gen X pick he could have fucking came up with. Okay, go.
Okay, you ready?
I respect it.
Kill Bill 1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's an
That's funny.
experiential thing also. He said he had just a killer experience at the movie.
Yeah.
when
No,
he
I
saw it.
I have a feeling I was there, to be honest with you.
I
He
mean,
probably smoked some of
Tarantino,
my,
like, we didn't
probably
really
smoked
talk-
some of my good weed, had his shit fucked up, you know?
yeah. You haven't even brought up Tarantino yet. I mean, we haven't said one Tarantino movie yet, which is interesting.
Yeah, but Tarantino, it's almost like we should do a separate fucking list and
Pulp,
everyone just
Pulp
drops
Fiction
their
came
favorite.
up for me the most. Pulp Fiction was the
Yeah.
one that I kept thinking.
I probably
list.
Inglorious Bastards or Django for me, but yeah.
Yeah. Number 7, Godfather 1. That's my man right there. He knows.
My favorite movie.
Number 6, another classic. I enjoy this. Rushmore.
Okay, that's such a douche.
It's
pick.
it is a douche.
I
pick,
literally,
for sure.
yeah.
Have not seen Rushmore. I'm feeling like a cuck that he's naming movies I haven't seen.
Yeah. Donnie has to go back to the drawing board and start checking out some of these movies. Stop watching Pie. Number 5, Scarface.
Interesting.
Okay.
Number 4 and number 5, Scarface. Listen, I don't agree with your take, Harley. By the way, I think like Scarface is just a great movie to watch. In
I
general.
love Scarface.
can jump in anytime.
Honestly, I've probably seen it more than any other movie I could think of.
I even have a Scarface poster, like a wooden poster I had.
You're saying
for
that
sure.
like it's a special thing. Any Scarface,
you bought
merch,
that- you
Literally,
bought that when you were
everyone
Exactly.
had that.
Donnie had the Scarface jean suit, guaranteed, with the leather jacket. for
Everyone had Scarface something. Everyone played. The
It's like a rite of
PS2
passage.
game, like-
It's a
Yeah,
rite of passage.
yeah.
That's why it has to be top 10. 'Cause
But
it's
when you
just-
watch
it's a
it
rite of-
back, you're literally like, this movie's a montage the entire time.
Number 4, City of God.
Okay, wow.
It's so
one.
funny. I almost was
So
in my
hard.
list, but that's one that got bumped out. Same like Gladiator. I've watched
Yeah.
that not that long ago, and I was like, this hit at a time when it was revolutionary, and it doesn't get carried the same way like it did back then. Same like Pie, actually.
And this is why we're not doing
Yeah.
this list justice, because to truly do it, you have to make the list. Then you have to go rewatch every movie, because sometimes a movie is like a core memory that exists
Yeah.
for you, but you
Yeah.
haven't revisited it. Then you revisit it, and you're like, oh, this is fine.
That's
it has
why
to
you
stand the
gotta-
test of time.
That's why you got to watch Avatar, Lynch.
I have watched Avatar. I
Not
like
recently,
Avatar.
bro.
I
It's
love
funny
it.
though, because
I'm
I've
sorry.
made the same comment about books where I'm like, some of my favorite books that if someone asked me, I'd claim this is my favorite book, and then I realize I haven't read it in 18 years, and like
Yeah,
maybe
you
it's
gotta be
not my
careful with
favorite
that.
book anymore.
You got to
Yeah.
be careful with that.
Exactly.
Okay, number 3. Number 3 might be
alright.
for me too. Number 3 is another.
Great book.
It's a good one. True Romance.
Great one. Good.
Classic.
Yeah, I allow it. It's a great
Yeah.
movie. And honestly,
Right?
once you
Written
have
by-
Gary
written
Oldman,
by Tarantino.
if Gary Oldman is in the movie, it's allowed in the top 10.
Yeah.
You could even say Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'd be like, okay.
Number 2, I feel
Fuck.
like. Oh
I'm
god.
adding that to my list.
Number 2, this one I feel like has to be in the top 10, and I have a feeling we're all going to agree. Big Lebowski.
Yeah. That's the
So
comedy.
I had
That's
that.
the comedy, I think.
That's
I
the
had
one.
that.
That's the comedy that makes it when we were
I
talking
had that,
about
but
it.
I swapped it. I had that, but I swapped it
For what?
for Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Good. That one's special to you also.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
That's going to be some different.
But I
attention.
didn't want to have both, so I picked the one that's closer to the heart.
Okay, that's fair. Number 1. This one's going to be a tough one for everyone.
Mm.
You ready? Cool Hand Luke.
I knew this was going to be on the list.
He's trolling us. Fuck you, dude.
No,
No,
he's
he's
not.
dead
He's
ass
literally
serious.
not, because he's
Dead
mentioned it
serious.
many times. And when I was going through the list of doing this, and I was like researching, like Cool Hand Luke comes up in the top 250 IMDb, and I thought about that. I was like, Darren said I should watch this movie a million times.
I've seen it.
I
I
have
wouldn't
not.
put it in my top
I
10.
I
never
haven't
but
seen
I'll
half
tell
of
you-
Dersh's movies. I'm
But I'm going to tell
truly
you,
losing.
it does bring up a movie for me that might be in my top 10,
Let's hear it.
and it's because it's 25th Hour.
Mhm.
Because
Oh,
he has
yeah.
he has a Cool Hand Luke poster, which is the best visual. It's like one of my
Yeah.
favorite posters. It's Paul Newman's face, and it's just like it's like shooting out like this, and it's got the lights like right in his living room where he gets caught with all the dope. You know, before when he does that, and I think
Yeah.
25th Hour is a movie I've watched many, many times, and I actually really enjoy it.
That's
It might-
one
That
I
was a
should
might-
rewatch.
hype movie.
Yeah, I got to
That's when I was like, that's when I was like, Edward Norton is like a serious fucking.
He's
And you were
powerhouse.
also starting to appreciate good acting and movies. Like you were
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
to get Barry
That
Pepper.
was
and
one
you
word.
and you get Philip Seymour Hoffman as well. You get that Barry Pepper.
get
killing it,
Logan. You get Logan. Logan
It's funny,
Roy.
yeah. When I saw 25th Hour, I honestly felt more adult in the sense where I was like, I could recommend someone a film now, like a good film that I have a take on. That's a great
Yeah.
fucking movie.
You're like,
that should have been in your list, Dersh.
I have consumed a Spike Lee joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think 25th Hour probably is going to crack it for me. Now, I'm going to hit you with his honorable mentions. We probably should have just done his list and judged him this entire time.
Yeah.
So we could be for four of them. We could be like, well, yeah, I don't know that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Titanic, Die Hard,
Never saw
Blues Brothers,
Titanic.
That's
Boogie
a fuck
Nights,
up. You
Requiem
should
for a
see.
Dream.
Boogie Nights and Requiem are both great.
Boogie Nights, I love.
I
Got my
saw
first
Boogie
hand
Nights
job to
actually.
Boogie Nights.
I saw Boogie Nights with my brother actually in the basement, so I too got my first hand job.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I remember that was a rental. That was a rental walking around Blockbuster, and he just grabbed Boogie Nights, and I was like, I don't care. He's gonna watch it, so it's gonna be chill.
It is PTA. It is like
was sick.
PTA when he's like 20 years old or something. He like made that movie when he was like 25 or something.
The Rock. The Rock is an honorable mention, at least. I love The Rock. Such a great
what's
movie.
an honorable
So
mention
good.
for me? That's fucking like if we're gonna put something like The Rock in there, because that wasn't it for me. But you know what was? Face Off. Face Off at the time.
Face
at
Off
the
is
time,
Nick
I
Cage,
was
hilarious Nick Cage.
I fucking loved that movie. Back then, I fucking loved that movie.
What issue though? Like, how are they actually changing faces? I know we got to be in a movie, but it's just like out of control. What's going on?
Oh,
Like,
dude, the
completely
whole
different
thing
looking
is
people.
insane. The acting's I loved that movie at that
I always
time.
like the boots in the jail where they're like stuck to the ground.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You ever see?
So I
there's
feel,
a
so
movie
I
all
feel like I
about
got
that, no?
like nowhere in
Fortress?
this personally because now we're like all over. Now we've thrown like
We're all.
50
I'm all
movies.
over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
we
have
gave
versus
we gave people a good baseline, I think, anyways, at least.
You didn't mention Fight Club.
A lot of information.
I
here.
thought about Fight Club.
I thought about
Fight
Seven
Club.
also.
Yeah. I have
Seven's big.
First Blood.
Well,
I have.
Donnie's like really. This is interesting.
You are
I've
literally,
heard-
you're someone's VHS collection. You're somewhere in a basement and you've accessed a VHS collection. You're not wrong, but it's just interesting. Like fire choices in 2003.
Yeah, well, this is like kind of the last time I emotionally connected with movies.
Yeah, I could
is there
see
anything-
that. That's what I'm getting, actually.
I'll say. Don't you feel weird? Like we're missing. Like there's so many directors like Fincher or like.
Yeah,
like,
we
how does
fucked up a lot.
Scorsese? How does Scorsese not even crack top 10 for any?
and
Even
that's
when,
it.
even when he
That's
said,
what
well,
I
he
was
said
gonna say
Departed.
is,
He
like-
said Departed.
That's fair. Okay,
It's up there, but that's the
we
thing.
also
is, like,
don't have. Sorry.
Well, no, here I am like listing all these great recent movies I haven't seen, and then I feel almost like I'm not in a position to be making lists because let's face it, for the last 10, 15 years, I've spent a lot more time outside and like reading. I kind of shifted away from
Excuse me.
gaming and movies and shit. No, but dude, I still find time to
go outside. Then go.
I
Go
go
play
outside. I will.
Well, you should have
will.
at least brought like.
You see
There
this
Will Be-
tan? Does everyone see how tanned I am?
You should have brought a There Will Be Blood at least then. If you're gonna come
I
with
love
your
There Will
list,
Be
you should
Blood.
have said There Will Be Blood. That's one
I
that
said
that's
that.
on
I
you.
said that to
bring.
Dersh. I said that to Dersh, and I was like, I love that. But most people, for a movie like that, they'd pick for that director. They would pick the one that you put in there, or the one that Darren put in there, which is
What am I thinking of? Right
Boogie
now?
Nights.
What am I thinking
So-
of? That's the Cormac McCarthy book.
But also like not having him in the top 10. What's his name?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Fuck. What am I thinking? of?
How do you not have like Daniel Day-Lewis in the top 10 when he's basically
like Gangs of
considered
New
the
York
GOAT?
or something.
I love Gangs of New York. Now there's
Yeah.
a movie that I think people don't like that I love. I love Gangs of New York. I watched that many times.
Dude, this name is killing me right now. No Country for Old Men.
Mm.
I
Another.
just rewatched that. It was chill. Not top
Yeah.
10 for me though.
No,
Yeah.
it's not, but I'm just thinking of.
A recent movie that I thought was good that I recommend, but I don't. It's like hard to put a new movie in the top 10 for me. But is like The Nice Guys. Did you watch that?
with
With Mark
Wahlberg
Wahlberg?
and Will Ferrell.
No, Ryan.
Gator don't take no shit.
Ryan
Oh,
Gosling and
Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
That was a
thought
sneaky.
that
That
was
was a
a
sneaky
really-
good movie. Randomly,
I really
Didn't
enjoyed
expect
that movie.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah. So we didn't really get anywhere.
No, we
ultimately.
got nowhere, and our top 10 list became like a top 60 list, and with no ranked order, and everyone's so mad right now. We managed to please nobody.
Yeah, I'm committing
No, I
to
think
nothing.
I thought that this would be valuable for people to get some information about you guys, and I think sharing your
What do
opinion.
you mean?
here-
What if they decide they hate us based on any pick?
Oh, absolutely, but that's fine.
That's
totally
part of
fine.
it.
At least they know.
Like, love
At least
us or
they
hate
know.
us, they need to pick a side.
Okay, well, let's put a pin in that for now. I think we did a good job of putting a lot of movies out there. I don't think we solved anything really other than making a few really good recommendations.
Yeah. I like your Minority
so,
Report pick. We got to start. I think we'll do it again, like books to movies. Fuck.
Yeah, I like that. But we could talk about this for hours. So
forever. I don't know. Let's hit something else for now.
Well, like, tell us how we're wrong. Just let us know in the comment section what movies we missed, because we clearly missed probably.
There's definitely going to be comments there that were like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right, quickly. How about the sort of
up.
holiday season coming up right now? And I saw a couple of things about the holiday. I guess everyone's gearing up for American Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't know if people are gearing up for Hanukkah, but whatever. Okay. And I saw this thing that was very epic mealtime. And I was like, I feel like we've done this before, but we've definitely discussed this idea. But this company's making like a Bloody Mary's lasagna, which I don't think is a Bloody Mary here in Canada, but they're making a mix that's a lasagna mix. Stouffer's.
Stouffer, I hardly know her.
Lasagna, making a Bloody Mary lasagna. And the reference picture they put out is
this is not a Bloody Mary lasagna. This is a lasagna Bloody Mary.
Explain that.
Well, the item that it is always the second thing said. So like fast food lasagna is a lasagna made with fast food. But if I said lasagna fast food, it would be like various fast food items that are lasagna.
It would be cheeseburgers made out of lasagna. So this is a Bloody Mary drink that's lasagna flavored.
Yes,
this is kind of like the s'mores. It's a
lasagna. It's a lasagna Bloody Mary.
And okay, so what I've been learning. Okay, I get you. So what I've been learning is that literally every week you just see a news story about some ridiculous. I don't even think they sell these products. There's not there's like a collab. Like this could be a whole segment because every week there's some new collab / attention getting item they're putting out that just generates a lot of PR. Like it's just a PR thing. You know, I'm not trying to hate here because this image actually looks.
You're not allowed to hate being on Epic Mealtime. You're not allowed to hate.
That's true.
The fucking lasagna Bloody Mary.
That's true.
You have to sit here and go, why didn't we do that?
I think we did do a big Caesar with like full blown.
Yeah, we did
things here.
It was fire actually.
But I'm gonna come out and say I hate these tomato based drinks of any type.
Oh.
I don't fuck with bloody nothing. I don't fuck with V8. I don't fuck with Clamato or anything.
You're hitting
like
all
that.
these different things, though. I agree. I don't like a Bloody Mary.
I do love lasagna. If I'm going to an Italian place, like lasagna is my order most likely.
I've had some good tomato juices though. Like a tomato beverage. I've had some good ones.
But what's interesting about the image they put out here is this is clearly not how people do it. But they have a piece of lasagna as the garnish. Ugh, the basil's the worst part of that picture.
Basil's not even real.
It does look fake, but it's the only flavor
this whole thing is
here
fake.
I'm appreciating.
All of it. But like they have a piece of lasagna as a garnish.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck
and Parmesan, and they used Parmesan to crust the top of the glass, like you usually do with salt or something.
Yeah.
I see what they did. I fucking make moves like this in my sleep, bitch. Like, holler at me, Stouffer's. What's up? You know, Stouffer's is the first person I turned down a brand integration with. Hit me up in 2011. They wanted to do Stouffer's sliders. And they wanted it to only be available for American viewers. And it was a contest. And it was $100K to make a video.
To ask you what the bag was.
A video.
What's the vig?
A video about Stouffer sliders and run a contest available to U.S. viewers. And I said no, because the bag wasn't in mom Ninu. And it was sliders, so it was like can't make like little burgers epic or try and like sell out that hard so fast. And then also we didn't want to be a Canadian channel running a contest only for Americans. Even though that was mostly our audience, there was still like a significant portion that were Canadians. We didn't want to swerve on them. So we didn't do it. And I see Stouffer's is still fucking bitter about it out there, stepping into the lasagna lane. About to get clipped by the 18-wheeler, boy. Herp. I will fuck you. I will fuck your ass.
I will fuck you till you love me.
You're gonna hit them with that glizzy assault rifle.
I'm gonna hit him with that glizzy.
That's crazy. So that, you know what? I actually have to give them credit because that's what, 2011. How many brands would have thought to do something like that? That's
yeah,
it
it actually came from Hollywood too. It was the Hollywood agent that went and hit me back.
Crazy.
He was like, and when I told him no, he was literally like, "You are the stupidest person that has ever been in this building. You're so fucking stupid."
Was he literally like that?
He wasn't grasping like what
for sure.
like,
He was really
what
like
the possibilities of it. He was just like, $100K to make a stupid fucking dumb YouTube video. This thing might not even be something. What are you fucking? This is the biggest.
I gotta say,
like that's like 100K is like.
Disagree with you.
But 100K is like you. Like if let's say I was a fucking juggler and I was really good at juggling and he was like, "Hey, I'll pitch you a show," and he went to a network and he pitched like 5 episodes. Like it literally could end up being something like 100K. It's like booking a pilot in terms of what he would get out of it. So it's like the best thing you could do with a new talent is book a pilot in terms of like the money, because it could be like 100K. This was 100K. So he was like, this is like easy for him. Me not doing it is like, he's not going to understand it. He did, and he eventually did, but like, I don't think he saw the play there.
When you say that number, it sounds like a lot, and it certainly is a lot of money. But if you really consider all the conditions at that point in time, it is off by a pretty big degree. Not a big degree, but definitely should have been more than that at that point in the game. But I don't think people really were grasping like they do now.
I don't know. As like a blue collar fucking schlub, I'm like, you know what? You can have your slider, Stouffer, and I will take the money.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's why I'm Donnie Duckets and you're the sauce boss.
Hardly the sauce boss anymore. Where's Stouffer's at right now?
Yeah.
I'll suck your dick for 10K, Mr. Stouffer, sir.
It's true. Danny
This
Brown
mic
is
was
now
expensive.
the sauce boss.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Well, he is. He came to Montreal and got his dick sucked on stage when he was rapping. So I guess,
that was in Montreal.
You could be the sauce boss, buddy. You're doing
I don't know. All I know is
me.
a couple episodes ago, he called himself the sauce boss in his podcast, and I sent you that. I sent you guys that clip. I was
and
like,
he did actually get blown in Montreal.
Boys.
Yeah, no, he was talking.
You know
about
what?
that
So did I. So I'm not impressed.
Me too.
You know what? You're gonna have to come harder than that, Danny Brown. We've all gotten our dicks sucked in this city. Literally.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning into the Binge Eater podcast. Make sure you leave a like, you subscribe, you put a comment down, a rating, share it with your friends. All that stuff helps. We've been having a great time recording these episodes for you guys. Shout out to Donnie Duckets, Big Lynch.
Shout out to G Fuel for kicking in and actually hyping up this episode.
I had that hype sauce. Yeah. gfuel.com. Use the code EPIC. Get up to 30% off your order. You guys are beauties. I love you. This episode is brought to you by our merch. Have you seen the Epic Mealtime merch? Head over to epicmealtime.com. We got some badass new styles over there. I think you'll look pretty fuckable.